Welcome back, friends of Night City. Cyberpunk update 1.3 is out. It adds a little bit of new content, but there is way more in this content update than you actually might expect. It is finally possible to craft legendary weapon mods and legendary clothing mods. And I don't mean the bully and stuff like that, I mean the crunch mods, the armadillo mods. You can craft legendary armadillo, legendary crunch mods now with the legendary crafting specs for them. Before this patch you only had a common crafting specs that randomly dropped uncommon, rare and epic mods, but this got completely changed now. With this update you will actually get rare crafting specs for crunch, you will get epic crafting specs for crunch, and you will get the legendary crafting specs as you see here. And when we replace all those epic crunch mods here with the new legendary ones, we will get around 50 DPS additionally for that Shingen Mark V weapon. And you will also get 42 additional armor when you replace an epic armadillo with a legendary armadillo. In order to get these legendary crafting specs, when you install patch 1.3, it turns out that you have to have the Edgerunner Artisan, which means you have to get tech level 18 to unlock Edgerunner Artisan, which means you can craft legendary items, which includes the legendary mods and also the legendary mods crafting specs. If you only have Grease Monkey, which is unlocked at tech level 12, then you can only craft epic items and you will only get the epic crafting specs for the crunch and armadillo mods. I actually tested this with an older save file where I had only tech level 14 and only Grease Monkey was active and I had not yet unlocked the Edgerunner Artisan. So depending on which is your highest crafting skill, you will end up with that level of crafting specs for Armadillo for crunch mods when you install patch 1.3. With Grease Monkey you will unlock all the epic ones, and with Edgerunner Artisan you will get immediately all the legendary crafting specs. So it is more important than ever that you get to tech level 18 to get the most damage for your build. The funny thing is, you only get all those crafting specs if you already have them, but if you start a new save file you have to loot them first. And those lootable crafting specs now come in different rarities. If you have Edgerunner Artisan, you will loot automatically the highest legendary crafting spec. If you have Grease Monkey, you will loot them in epic rarity, and if you have a lower tech skill, you will loot them in lower rarity. So maybe it is really wise to save one of those armadillo mods for an easy loot later in the game, that you don't have to buy them or acquire them otherwise. There's actually a really good spot to get all those crafting specs. Here in the Badlands, in the Wraith camp, you will get all those crafting specs. Armadillo crunch, backpacker resist, you will get everything. You will find all those crafting specs here, so just go there and loot them all once you have Edgerunner Artisan. Of course you can also just buy them from the arms dealer, but all those legendary crafting specs will cost you 27,000 eddies, so they are quite costly, and I rather recommend you go to the raid camp, get them all for free, and then you're fine. And all this with the legendary mods also apply to new legendary Cyberware mods. Every Cyberware mod that was previously only available in epic quality, like the Sandevistan heatsink, can now be crafted in legendary quality, and you also get the crafting spec for it. That is totally awesome, because you can now put your legendary Sandevistan heatsinks in it, and you can also get legendary implants likely for your Kiroshi, for your gorilla arms. I haven't found those crafting specs yet, so I only had the Sandevistan heatsink, but it should be possible for everything for which you get a crafting spec. Speaking of the gorilla arms, they also got a really cool update, because they now show you the type of elemental damage they deal. If you have thermal damage equipped on your gorilla arms, they're actually burning, and I believe if you have chemical or electrical damage installed on your arms, then they might have such an effect as well. I just tested out the thermal damage on my arms and it was really awesome. It is very cool looking, especially if it's a darker place here like this fight in the glen. And some bad news for all those completionists out there, because they have reset the Beat on the Blood questline. Actually they have only reset the last fight, so you can redo the last fight of Beat on the Blood. They probably only did that so you can see those new gorilla arms with those animations. But if you're struggling with those fights, I actually recommend to install a Sandevistan OS slowdown time, and then you can simply beat the shit out of those guys. And no new update without a working money glitch. In fact, you can craft an infinite amount of money. This trick is actually not new, But I will show you a variant with a very nice side effect that I personally use and that is still working in patch 1.3. Those epic evening jackets or any epic jackets will sell for over 3000 eddies on higher levels. You simply craft them with a fraction of the cost and then simply sell them to the next vendor. And if the vendor runs out of money, you can also buy those materials directly from him, then craft more of those jackets, sell them, buy materials, rinse and repeat. If he ever runs out of money on materials, just go outside, wait 24 hours, go in, and then he has new materials and new money. The reason I use epic jackets is because they randomly drop legendary clothing mods, and this is kind of a glitch because you were supposed to buy them from clothing vendors, but if you craft enough epic jackets they will randomly contain a legendary clothing mod, which can be a bully mod with 30% crit damage or a Fortuna mod with 12% crit chance. In order to use this mod now, you have to dismantle that jacket, because when you dismantle it and you have the special perks that you get your mods back when you dismantle your items, then you can use it in your shiny legendary fully upgraded items. Here you have 3 new bully mods that can be placed in this item, but I have already so many bully mods that I don't really care. I could replace the Fortuna mod here, put a new bully mod inside, but I don't really need that. The perk you need for that is called Waste Not Want Not. So you have to get this perk to be able to extract those legendary mods from those crafted clothings. This is the fastest and best way to get legendary clothing mods. And those bully, Fortuna and Dead Eye mods actually do work now since a couple of patches already. So you can easily get 500% crit damage and 100% crit chance. And what that means is at 100% chance you will get 5 times the amount of damage if you have 500% crit damage. And you actually see that I only have 70% crit chance here because these values stack together with the weapon values. When I look at my lowest crit chance weapon, which is the Mox, it only has 30% crit chance. So those 70% will be added together with the 30% from my Mox. That's how you get 100% crit chance for a weapon. You have a base value from your character and then you add the crit chance value of that specific weapon. And then it only depends on the amount of crit damage. The more bully mods you have in your build, the more damage you will deal. They completely stack and you should use them. So this was the part that nobody is talking about. Now I show you the shiny items that everybody is talking about. First of all, you get the jackets if you answer that message from Victor here. Then you have to go to your stash and there are 2 new jackets. The red jacket is actually my favorite. I don't really like the Top Gun version, so the red jacket is really cool. The Top Gun version is, yeah, it looks rather decent, pretty thick, but my legendary gear set is way better. Anyway. Then of course we get the shiny new car as well for those who love new cars. The car looks really cool, has a lot of modeling and details, especially in the back and in the front. In order to get this car you actually have to be in the Eastern Badlands, switch for 24 hours multiple times, then have a long ride on your vehicle until you get the message from Dakota, and then you can go to the marked location and pick it up. And of course, most important, when you enter the car, your minimap actually zooms out and it stays zoomed out and shows you the next corner way earlier than before. So that's a much appreciated change and it runs really smoothly. So it has no loading issues here, but I'm running a Series X anyway, so I can't complain about my hardware. In the game settings, you can also now change Johnny Silverhand's appearance. If you have trouble opening that menu, make sure you quit your current session, go to the main menu, then open the settings and then you can switch it and start a new session. It doesn't work if you are in a running game session. Other than that, I had some trouble saving my game when I installed patch 1.3 because I had more than 20 save files. That's an issue because they reduced the maximum amount of allowed save files to be 20. And if you have problems saving your game, don't freak out because you just have to delete a couple of old save files. I actually freaked out for an hour until I realized I just can delete a couple. One was not enough for me, for some reason I got 21 save files, so I deleted 2 old save files and then I could successfully save my game. I hope this was helpful for you. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like and see you next time.